Well, here's what we learn from this situation. Do the 49ers miss Jimmy Garoppolo? It's a very simple question. It's a very simple question, but an easy answer. And you guys be surprised. No. Niners don't miss Jimmy Garoppolo. You got a quarterback who's actually more efficient and doesn't make a lot of mistakes. You might say, well, he almost threw some interceptions. But the fact is, Brock Purdy didn't get an interception. You can say, but the guy was a 7th-round draft pick. Any good player in the league can come as a late round, bro. They got something to prove. The guy didn't just get the job just for what he did in college. He earned the right to be the starter. Meanwhile, Jimmy Garoppolo was given the opportunity to do something for this franchise, and he has yet to deliver. So we had to move on. After 6 years of Jimmy Garoppolo, you had to move on from Jimmy. If you look at the current stats of the first 3 weeks of the season, Jimmy Garoppolo leads the NFL with interceptions. 6 interceptions. He is 1-2 as a starter. Should I say more? The communication. Some of the wide receivers were almost injured on those passes, which they call hospital ball, whatever they call it. And the fact that he takes careless throws, it's very risky of him. And the fact that he only beat the Denver Broncos. And remember a time last year when this kid that we got in the 7th round came off the bench and beat the Miami Dolphins? That's the same Dolphins team that blew the brakes out of the Denver Broncos 70-20. That's the same team. But Brock Purdy came off the bench looking like unbeatable. And he beat the Dolphins like it was nothing. But Jimmy Garoppolo lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He threw 3 interceptions. Brock Purdy threw none. Brock Purdy threw 2 touchdown passes and won by 23 points against the Steelers. Jimmy Garoppolo lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers by 5 points. He had opportunities and he blew it away. You want to know another interesting stat? The guy just doesn't play as big as he is. He has to have better supporting cast to win. And that's the issue. Jimmy Garoppolo was given the opportunity. He kind of played the part as what you would want for an NFL quarterback, but he never delivered. You can say what you want about Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, he was definitely the foundation of this Niners offense. But now that we got a quarterback who's more efficient, we don't miss a beat with Jimmy Garoppolo. Even through last season when he was coming off because of Trey's injury, against the Dolphins, Jimmy was injured, and Brock Purdy just came in like Jimmy never left, but it was better. It was like a better quarterback. Like, who the hell does that shit? And we went all the way to the conference championship with this kid, and the kid is still undefeated. You can count the NFC championship game where we did lose, but at the end of the day, the Niners don't really miss Jimmy Garoppolo. You're missing a guy with a lot of experience and was a good locker room type of guy. But was he somebody that wanted to put all the work in? I don't think so. Off season, he was hard to communicate. The guy just didn't. He wanted to do things his own way at some point. But then he felt that he was too big for Shanahan. And maybe that's what led him to his exit. But I'll tell you what. He did take a restructured contract because he had no other choice. But I think if it was the other way around, he would have done what he done. But you got to give him credit for that. But then you get somebody on a rookie deal, and he's actually making this offense a lot better. You can say what you want about the interception stats and all that shit. But the fact is, Brock Purdy is the luckiest quarterback in the NFL. You want to look at the similarities. Brock isn't your typical big quarterback. Brock doesn't have a strong arm, but he makes up for it. Just like Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy doesn't have a strong arm. Jimmy's not your typical big quarterback, but they both make up for it. The only difference, Brock Purdy just plays the game like he's not scared. He knows he's up for the moment. He's played a lot of college football, just like Jimmy G. The competition is a lot different than what he did at Iowa State. Illinois, I guess Eastern Illinois for Jimmy Garoppolo, there was a different competition there, but you get what I'm saying. Brock Purdy is well-liked in the locker room. He's already earned the respect of his teammates. He's already the captain. He's doing a lot better than what you would expect from a second-year quarterback. The fact that you got him as your last pick of the draft, that's like your lottery. You know how you enter the lottery, you get a lucky number, and you win that shit? This was the last pick in the draft. And under the situation of the front office and what Shanahan and John Lynch did by trading for Trey Lance, most coaches and GMs would have been fired for that mistake. But not them. Not them. They got lucky and they got blessed with a quarterback like Brock Purdy. Not only that they got the lottery, they hit the jackpot, and they got new contracts for that shit. So let that sink in. You know, we might question the front office on certain stuff. I might be wrong on stuff because I was really hoping on Trey Lance, but you got to respect the decision, and you got to move forward, and you got to hope for the best for Brock Purdy. I may be a little critical on him, but slowly I'm starting to be a believer in Brock. So bear with me. I'm gonna get there. But I want to just say this. Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo will ever be in San Francisco. What Jimmy Garoppolo did in San Francisco is remarkable, but I think in a couple of years, Brock Purdy is going to accomplish more than what Jimmy Garoppolo's tenure was in San Francisco. I can guarantee you that. And the fact that if he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll be our quarterback for a long, long time. That's how confident I feel about Brock Purdy. The difference between Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy is I don't feel too nervous with Brock Purdy like I felt with Jimmy Garoppolo. I feel confident now. Like if a game was on the line and we're down by 7, Brock Purdy's going to take us down the field and win the game. We were down by 10 against the Raiders. You could have maybe thought, hell, the game's out of reach at this point. Nope, Brock Purdy came back and won the game. He got the team in the huddle and they got it together. We were down by 7 points before halftime. Brock Purdy took us down the field and he snuck in for a touchdown, and we tied the game before halftime. And that's how it felt. We were down by a touchdown or so, or down by a point or something before halftime against the Seahawks, and we won that game. So that gives me some confidence about Brock Purdy. He's been there before. He's been doubted, but he's somebody we could definitely root for. So to answer your question about it, I don't think we miss him. Jimmy Garoppolo did some good things, but he just didn't get the job done. I think with a younger and cheaper quarterback, you're going to get better results if he performs better than your expectation, which Brock Purdy is. So that was the answer of the question. There was a question from a fellow fan base, so I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to say we don't miss Jimmy Garoppolo. So that answers your question.